That was great. I'll tell you, when I got the job here, I didn't know anything about it. I was on the interview process, and I had an interview coming up, and I was really excited for this job. I wanted to find out more, and so I was trying to reach out to people to find out about Princeton volleyball. And there was a guy that I played volleyball with, Scott Loren, in 2004. I played with him in like a Lawyers League. I played in 2004. Oh. Yeah, he graduated in 2002. And then a couple years later, 2004, I was in New York City playing the Lawyers League with him. I met him. We played like 6 or 7 times. I didn't know him that well. And fast forward 2009, I'm applying for this job, and I'm trying to figure out, who do I know at Princeton? I'm just scrolling through Facebook, trying to see back then Facebook was like a thing. Now all the parents use Facebook and the kids don't use it. But I was trying to figure out, who do I know? And I found this guy, Scott Loren, and I called him up and I said, hey, I have an interview tomorrow. Can you give me some insight? An hour and a half on the phone. He spent with me insight about Glenn, the administration, all that kind of stuff. And when I came on my interview, I knew about the program. And when I got here, sort of some of the stories that Huddy was talking about, it's just amazing. You feel the family feel. I got here really in 2009. We had a women's practice. Loren came out. I didn't know who he was. He watched the practice. We sat down. We chatted for an hour or two. And then after that, he must have sent the smoke signal back to California, because I started getting emails from Loren that said, okay, we'll help you. Okay, we're in, right? The Lucas family that Huddy talked about invited me out to a dinner in California, and it was kind of like, there was like the tribunal. I can't remember, Huddy, if you were there or not, but it was like a bunch of the heavy hitters that I'd heard about, and there was too many nicknames to remember, but they just started grilling me, and they started razzing me a little bit. But it's like you do to your little brother or sister, right? They're in your family, you mess them a little bit, but you love them and you want them there. And there was just that kind of overwhelmed feeling of love. Huddy mentioned Morgan McKenzie, who's been a huge focal point of our program, and everyone sort of rallies around him. The beautiful piece of family that comes around full circle when he talked about Wayne being here. For those who don't know, the other Morgan McKenzie is his niece, who's here, and she's our manager. And so it's just amazing to see how many pieces of Princeton volleyball kind of repeats itself. But we will move on to our next keynote speaker, and that is Loren Montgomery Clark, class of '91. She was a 4-year starter, outside hitter, 2-year captain, Ivy League champions, 1987. Coro Fellow in Public Affairs, 93, and then Duke Law School JD in 96. In her career, she was a partner at Latham Watkins Global Law Firm from 96 to 2010, founder and president of Montgomery Clark Advisors, R&D and Project Development, 2010 to present, board of directors, several schools and other nonprofits. She lives in Rustic Canyon, Pacific Palisades with her husband, Dylan, Clark, and 3 boys, Ben, 17, Will, 15, and Owen. Please welcome Loren Montgomery Clark.
I am so happy to be here. I have had such an amazing weekend, and I'm going to sound like the old lady in the room, but I went to the women's game yesterday. You guys were incredible. I walked in and I got a little emotional and kind of teary because we spent so much time in that gym. And it may be a little known secret that our generation is a myth, but you guys are better than we were, which was like, wow, they're really jumping really high and they're super strong. And, but we do have the shared experience, and being in that gym with you all yesterday was literally, he was texting my roommates during the game, one of whom drove up from New York and joined me for the game, and another of which I've been staying with this weekend in Princeton. So part of the theme you've been hearing about community, and we're all so connected and will be, no matter what generation we are. Sam and Sabrina have been asking me to come for years to speak. It's sort of, well, it's a banquet this year. Let's get you out to the East Coast. And I live in California, and there was always a reason why it wasn't the right time. I was, very, very busy. I've always worked full time and had a really strong, busy career. 3 boys, so I was having kids, having a career. It was never the right time, and now it seems like the perfect time. So, but it wasn't a chosen time. It just happens. I am turning 50. My children are getting older, one of which will be in the applicant pool next year for college, and it does seem like the perfect time. The fact that Loren and Kate are here and that their son is now here at Princeton, that my coach was being honored tonight, it just feels like the absolute perfect time to be here. So thank you for having me. And what I want to share with you today, my takeaway is, and you're going to hear a lot of the same themes, but that you have a gift. I have felt like I have a gift since I graduated from Princeton, and it is the gift of playing a sport in college, playing sport at Princeton, but so much more than that, playing volleyball at Princeton. There's something so special and unique about it, and that you have heard. It's been a consistent theme from the captains, from the players, from Mark, and it's just something that you carry with you. I really feel like I've carried it with me every phase of my life. So we all share that, and what you do with that gift and what you make of it, it's going to be different, but we share that, and it's a beautiful thing. So the first thing, which is so, you've heard this word so many things, but for me, what I carry with me most of all is what you've heard about, which is community. And you really have, I mean, absolutely from the time we arrived, and I love that the women's season starts before the school year. So this is so embarrassing that we showed this, but from this time I set foot on campus, it was back in the day where our entire team was from California, except for one person. And I came in my knee pads, and we did preseason, and it was absolutely magical for the time I came. And I don't know what has changed. You guys, after this, I'd love to hear, especially from the women's team, but back in my day, we would leave the gym. We were all best friends, and we would leave the gym and go to dinner every single night together. We would go, this is different from your days, we would go on road trips not in a bus, but in a van. You've probably heard at other banquets about this van. It sounds so dumb, but it was a small van that we'd pile into, and it was before all of this, liability issues. We would have a student drive the van, my roommate, Jillian, who we called Ginge, because we all did have nicknames, which you've heard about. Mark would drive the van sometimes, Coach sometimes, but for some reason it was mostly us driving ourselves to games. And we were so close, and we would stock up on food from the WA for sure. We didn't have, I just heard this term, Molly Marcoux, our athletics director, is a very dear friend of mine. She was my class in Princeton, 91, our class. She said, oh yeah, now we have fueling stations. We did not have fueling stations. We would go to the Olive Garden when it first opened up in the late 80s, and it was like it was nirvana. We would have, onion, oh my God, it was so disgusting. I would not eat like that now. But that was our fueling station, and we shared that as a team, and our community and our camaraderie is forever. And it was not just our team, it was the men's team. We were very close to the men's team. So it's, again, having Maren here, and Kate, who was also with us then, his wife, it was all of us together. My roommates came to every game. As I said, two of them, one came to a game tonight, one came to last night. So it was beyond just the volleyball team and the men's team, it was broader than that. And I don't think that's true for other sports. I don't think we all pile into Diligent like that to cheer each other on. There's something beautiful about the community that we create at Princeton Volleyball. And also the family, something we haven't talked about, and I'll show you a photo, but my parents would fly from California to games, like so many, I'm sure, here tonight. And they became good friends with the other families. And to this day, my mom's like, oh, we're going to Idaho to see the Wheelers, who was my setter. And it's just amazing how the community extends beyond even the players and everything else that I've said. So what else other than community? That's my main thing. I will not try to talk too long. But other than community, the other thing that I have carried with, community, hold on, these will be quick. It was embarrassing going to school in the 80s. The outfits, the hair, the shoulder pads. And these were not, of course, electronic. We did not have that then. So embarrassing. But we look happy, right? There's Mr. Coach and everyone. We won the Ivy Championships my freshman year, as Mark said. That was the Ivy League championship team. But embarrassing shorts, horrible shorts. Again, Olive Garden probably. And there we are again. So embarrassing. We all look the same. And these are for all 4 years. You know what I mean? And those were our best shorts. That was at Rutgers, yeah? That was at Rutgers. Yeah, so crazy. But there's Mark, our, as he said, our assistant coach, but also a player. So this was us going to his game in the spring. And there's Mark and my dad at, I think, the dinner after we won the Ivy League championship. So you see this theme, it all comes around. And then it goes beyond. So the community left. So that is my husband, Dylan, who's one of Mark's best friends, way before we got married, after college. There, Mark and I are you haven't seen these, Mark. This is before I got married. So you go through you guys probably know Jessica Giller. That's her dad and her mom who went to college with me. But that was when I got married in Napa Valley. And there we are at Mark's wedding in France. So the community continues to an amazing degree. Do I have any more? That is my youngest son looking at Mark during his wedding. And I don't mean, it's like, okay, not pictures, but it is incredible, these tethers that you guys have to each other and that you will develop over these years. It's phenomenal. So the other thing I've carried with me forever is just the commitment and the hard work. And this goes without saying, but actually it's something we all know that not everybody carries with them. You show up every day, you practice, you play sick sometimes, but you show up for everything. And that truly identifies my career, the way that I parent, and I've taken that with me. And I don't remember many games. I do remember the Ivy Championship game because I had a really bad sprained ankle and I was out for some games. And it wasn't all the way better. And I wrapped it up and we played and we won. And every day I go through my life and I go, oh, I played injured and we won. And it's just this thing that, again, you carry with you as a parent. My kids do not miss practices. I laugh at them, like, what do you mean? You're going to go to that practice. And it did carry through me in my career. I went a more traditional career. I did an internship. I actually coached volleyball in Guatemala for a year, but I went to law school and I interviewed at these sort of blue chip, whatever they call them, law firms. And I would go into every interview and they would say, what do you do? I'm like, I played sports in college. I played sports at Brentwood. I'm at Brentwood, that's Brentwood High School. I played sports at Princeton. I played volleyball at Princeton. And it means something, and I do think it means something, and it's kind of shorthand for I work hard, I have some intelligence, and I'm a team player. And it's just what we all do. Everyone in this room does it, but it really means something. So that's the commitment. And then finally, the third thing is just the competition. And this has been talked about too, but you keep playing when you're hurt, you win, you lose, you go on. And that also has defined my life and my career. I did make equity partner. I was I think, first woman to ever make equity partner with 2 kids on time. And then I stayed and I had a 3rd kid and everyone's like, oh my God, that's unheard of. You're gonna be there forever. But I didn't want to be there forever. And so I picked myself up and learned my lessons from sports, that you can pivot, you can be flexible, and you can, apply yourself anywhere. And I started my own company 10 years ago, and now I have my own strategic business. And this gets back to sports, because it's a very niche practice, but I work on really big projects that go through year-long processes. And my biggest client right now is the Clippers. And we're working to get them a new arena in California. And it is it's very controversial. There's a lot of opposition. Everything we do, there's opponents. There are very wealthy people that don't want the Clippers to move to Inglewood for competitive reasons. And my first meeting, I show up. And I hold myself as if, well, I know this. This is sports. These are arenas, Every person I work with on that project knows I played sports in college. I played sports at Princeton. I played volleyball at Princeton. And it means something. And they do. They laugh. We're like, whoa. We're analyzing traffic impacts, well, what time? Like, well, tournaments don't start till here, and I really do carry that with me, and you all will carry that with you, and then hopefully you'll have kids that, bringing it full circle, play sports, and they play a lot of sports. They play football, they play basketball, most played soccer, mostly, they ski, and then last week, Ben, that's my oldest son, they just started a beach team for his school. His coach went to Princeton, played volleyball, MJ, and she sent me this photo, and I was preparing for this. She sends me that photo, and then I was looking at yearbook, and there I am digging, and there he is passing, and it comes full circle. So hopefully we all will have experiences like you do. Hopefully we will all bring them full circle. And it really is meaningful, and it's so nice to see you all, and I look forward to being in your community. And I would love the women's team to come to my house and start that tradition at my house, and we will go from there. So thank you.